Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to RC Insiders. I got something that I think you guys are going to want to see today. This is a portable carbon monoxide detector. GZAIR is the brand that I went with on this, guys. Seemed like a really good price for a really good model with the amount of features it gets. Carbon monoxide, guys, as everybody knows, is a danger. It's present. Basically, carbon monoxide is created with incomplete combustion. So think about your car, your furnace, your barbecue grill, your wood stove, basically anything that doesn't 100% complete combustion will produce carbon monoxide. So like exhaust coming out the back of a car, there's always an incomplete combustion, and that's going to produce carbon monoxide gas. I went with this one because family does a lot of traveling. In a car, in a tent, we go camping a lot, you know, places that you don't normally have the protection of a carbon monoxide detector with you. So we went with this model. Just a couple of quick little things you get with this. You get real-time displays of the carbon monoxide levels that are in the area. So if you see right now, we're at 0, thankfully. You got a couple other things on it, guys. With the little display button here, you can switch between real-time readings. You push that button one time, and this will give you your peak readings. So what that's going to measure is from the time you turn it off or turn it on until the time that you reach. You want to see what the peak reading was in that time period. You push that button, it'll give you a peak reading. So not just real time, it'll measure your readings throughout that duration. And then you push it again, and of course you got your time. You can set everything nice and easy by holding the button, and you push the power button to adjust your time. Right here, guys, is the chemical sensor. This is a 5-year chemical sensor. It doesn't pick up any chemicals, just carbon monoxide, and that will last for 5 years. It does come with a 2-year battery on it, but that is replaceable. Just a few of the places you can think you could use it: in your home, in your car, traveling a lot, guys. A lot of hotel rooms don't have carbon monoxide detectors. Just think any confined space with very little ventilation. Okay, it has 3 different alarms on it, guys. You get, what it's going to do is there's preset levels of carbon monoxide in the detector. So I believe the low level is at 50 parts per million. So at 50 parts per million, you're going to get an audible alarm. And then I believe it's 200 parts per million, which is where carbon monoxide can start to become quite dangerous, get dizzy, headaches, you could faint. So at 200 parts per million, you're going to get audible and a visual alarm. And then over, I want to say 250 parts per million, you're going to get the vibration alarm to go with it. So there's 3 separate levels of alarms on it. It is IP67 waterproof, guys, so it's not a submarine. You can't drive it around underwater, but you can get it wet and it's still gonna work. Dust, stuff like that. It does have a nice rubber case on it that's not completely shockproof, but say 20 foot or a 2 meter drop test, it will pass that. So that's that, guys. It does come with a manual. Just like any RC car, guys, you're going to want to get to know your carbon monoxide detector. That way you can know when you're in danger what you can expect from your alarm. It'll have a bunch of different levels of what you can expect at parts per million, which parts per million is what carbon monoxide is measured in. I want to say, don't quote me on this one, but at 1,000 parts per million, I believe that carbon monoxide becomes IDLH, which is immediately dangerous to life and health. So when you start getting an alarm on this at 50 parts per million, that gives you an idea that something's wrong and it's time to take action, figure out why that alarm is going off. Once you hit 250 parts per million, you know, it could be too late. So as soon as you get an alarm on a carbon monoxide detector, guys, figure out what the issue is. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this one off. Just hold it for a 3-second countdown and it's off. And this will give you a good idea, guys, what it's going to look like. So what happens with this carbon monoxide detector is when you turn it on, you're going to make sure that you're outside, you're in an open space where you know it has good air, because the machine is going to calibrate itself to the air that you know is good. So when you first turn it on, you can feel the vibration, you can see the shaking lights, and what it's going to do, guys, there's your low level alarm at 50, and there's your high level alarm, it will be at 200. Remember guys, getting dangerous at 50, you just want to start checking it. So what you got is a 90-second countdown. Once you turn it on, guys, it's going to calibrate itself. Alright guys, we're fully calibrated now. You can see we're back down to 0 parts per million. That's where you always want to live, at 0 parts per million. Earlier I said 1,000. Guys, I think it's OSHA has determined that at 1,200 parts per million, carbon monoxide can be immediately dangerous to life and health. That means, you know, it could kill you. You're not even going to know it. You know, carbon monoxide is, they call it the silent killer. You know, carbon monoxide is not something you can smell usually. Like if it's coming out in exhaust, you might smell it, but you know, a lot of things that produce carbon monoxide, there's not going to be an odor like natural gas, which is something that's added to natural gas to smell like eggs. You're not going to get that with carbon monoxide. So remember, you get an alarm, it's going to alarm, low level alarm is at 50 parts per million. Investigate, find out where that carbon monoxide is coming from. So as a demonstration, guys, I'm going to fire up the old Mustang, and we're going to see what kind of exhaust we get coming out of there, and get some carbon monoxide readings, just so you get an idea what this thing looks like when it's working. So like I said, guys, carbon monoxide is basically produced from incomplete combustion, right? If a motor actually burned off, you know, 100% combustion, you'd have no carbon monoxide. So we're going to stick it down here at the tailpipe and see what happens. It's already alarming, guys. Now you got, when it goes over 200, so that's basically coming out of your exhaust right there. Over 900,000 parts per million, guys, on your exhaust. So let me shut this off. Stay with me. So then you'll see it'll start coming back down, guys. So whew, that's what you get. If you're ever around car exhaust, you can see the type of carbon monoxide that's coming out of here. It's vibrating real bad, guys. Like I said, after 200 parts per million, you get all the alarms together, so that now the vibrations stop, that it's coming back down. And then when it gets back below 50 parts per million, you know, all the alarms should stop. So very noticeable. Keep coming down, keep coming down. So we know that it works. It did everything like I said, guys, at 50 parts per million. At 50 parts per million, that's your low level alarm. As everything started going on, I'm going to shut this off so we're not driving each other crazy. And it's back down below 50 parts per million anyway. But anyway, guys, like I said, 50 parts per million, that was your low level alarm. It came on, you got your first initial alarm with it. As soon as it crossed 200 parts per million, guys, we got all the alarms kicking. That's letting you know that we have big issues, right? As far as this little thing goes, I'm not going anywhere traveling without it again, camping, nothing. It even has a nice little clip, guys. You can just clip it on your belt loop, take it with you, say you're out hiking, backpacking, whatever. You want this thing out there anytime you want it reading carbon monoxide. That's what it's gonna do. It'll take a while, but I wanted to see the peak parts per million on this thing. So give me 1 second, I'm gonna let it go through its thing. No, it's not gonna do it now because I didn't do it then. Okay. So remember, if you want to read your peak parts per million, just hit that menu button, guys, and it'll show you your peak parts per million for any given time that the unit was on. All right. So as far as the unit goes, guys, as far as a review goes, everything worked as it was supposed to work. Definitely a potentially life-saving device here. Remember, the silent killer, carbon monoxide. pick you up one of these guys, and then you're going to be safe, right? All right, I hope you all are enjoying your summer. This thing, awesome. Definitely pick one up. All right, guys, until next time, happy bashing.